All right, what do you got? What's the first one?
So, what do you believe your purpose to be? What did you believe your purpose to be when you were a child?
I don't think I had purpose as a child.
Uh huh.
I don't think I really even knew what my purpose was until like more like recently.
Yeah.
With a lot, like it's a lot about what we talked on the podcast, like coming to like self-awareness of yourself, who you really are, who you're really not, what are you good at, how can you empower that? You
Uh
know what
huh.
I mean? A lot of the things I was taught as a child ended up being like superpowers for me. And
Yeah.
maybe it's part of who I am,
Okay.
but a part of also being taught and then leaning into that and going, I can use this to help other people.
Yeah.
That answers the question?
Yeah. Well, and actually, part of it's like, what is your life's purpose now? You
Yeah.
know what I
So
mean? Yeah.
so I think when I was a kid, I thought my purpose was I think on some level my purpose has always been to be entertaining. Like I've always thought of myself as like, you know, loving people to laugh, all that good jazz, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that my purpose can be like the same kind of feeling, the same kind of good feeling when someone laughs, but they feel that about themselves because of what they did, not because I made them laugh, because what they realized about themselves and what I said and maybe made a joke about myself or how I phrased that. It wasn't funny, it was poignant,
Uh huh.
and they found something inside themselves that made them feel the way you make the joy you feel when you laugh.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've never thought of
So,
it like that.
yeah. Well, I think too, like when you think of purpose, like I don't know if I knew what my purpose was when I was a kid, but like when I was younger, for sure, it's like, oh, like fireman, astronaut, like you have like kind of those things. Which is that a purpose? I mean, it's a profession, right? But
Right.
why do you want to be an astronaut, right? We're also, I guess, we see things differently too. I remember I want to be a financial advisor. That's what I wanted to go to school for, right? Because I remember every year my dad's financial advisor would get us like, you know, New York Knicks tickets close like to the court, right? Where I'm meeting like Keyshawn Johnson, who's like sitting a couple rows in front of us, right? I was like,
Right.
oh, this is, that was success,
Right.
right? And that's how like that wasn't purpose though.
Your
But
purpose is so
well,
your purpose is what you do now, right? Don't you think?
yeah, for sure,
100%, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It feels natural too, I bet.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because it's what you're supposed to be doing.
right.
You know who Chris Herron is? He was the guy that he was like a real bad heroin addict and he
The
told
basketball player.
yeah, the basketball player,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. His
And then
30
now
for 30 was incredible.
yeah,
I think it was 30
right.
for 30.
Yeah, 30 for 30. It's called
Or-
Unguardable,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
I think I own it actually.
Yeah, like it's great,
I
right?
cry every time I watch
It's one of my favorite
it. Yeah.
ones. But playing basketball wasn't his purpose.
Hmm.
It was the way he helps other people now. And that's wild because he was a really good basketball player.
Which is like, because and so when his story goes back, because I was married when that came out. I was married to my first wife.
It was a while back, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Because he's not that much older than
He's a little bit older than us, or a little
a
bit
little
older
older
than
than us.
me. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's I don't know that story. I love that story, but I was like, you hate. I mean, you always feel so
Well,
messed up,
I
but
think the part of us that loves a story loves basketball
yeah,
and loves like really good athletes and badass stories like that,
yeah,
right? But the part of me that understands the bigger purpose in the world and the impact that people can have understands that like there's a lot of guys that play basketball.
uh-huh.
There's not a lot of guys that have gone through what Chris Herron has gone through and how he impacted others with his life.
Yeah.
Not very many people do that. You know what I mean?
Advocating for people like that, and yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, also, it gives you, and it's always perspective too of like this guy was at the top of his game and sitting out there, and he's addicted to drugs,
Yeah.
and he plays like that.
Just get blown up the night before and go out and ball out.
Yeah, or where he tells the story, he's like, "Oh, I'm standing outside of Boston Garden,
Yeah.
waiting for my drugs."
Yeah. It's crazy.
Crazy. Well, a lot of these guys too, and it's I think it puts a lot of things in perspective. Where you know who Tim Grover is,
Yes.
right? So Michael Jordan's trainer,
Right.
whatever. He would talk about in I forget what his first book or second book, where he's like some of these guys, the game wasn't challenging enough for them. They would see how many beers they could drink during halftime, and then go out in the second half and still perform at the same level.
I feel like they have ADHD.
I, I mean, it's in tons of like high performers. If you know, if you know how to um, focus it.
All right, what's your next question?
This is an interesting one. I don't know. I was just going through here. What makes someone a bad person in your opinion?
Oh man, I feel like someone is a bad person when when you don't have the self-awareness to know that you're hurting other people. And that's 1000% your responsibility.
Uh-huh.
Like your own self-awareness is your responsibility. And when you don't put in the work to be aware and responsible for yourself and the things you do, and that impacts other people, that's not being a very nice person.
Okay.
Is that bad? Is that fair? I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I wonder when you talk about like self-awareness, right? We're also products of like, and we look through things from the lens of like how we were raised,
Right.
right? Where if you had a parent or two parents, whatever, with no self-awareness, not even paying attention to what self-awareness might be.
Yeah, you don't even know that you're not self-aware.
Right.
You probably even feel aware.
Sure.
But like, I think, on the podcast, we were talking about your Be Curious tattoo. Like anytime that like something comes across my plate that I'm like that, like it could be about me and my ego. It could be about someone I know, someone I respect, someone I don't respect. I just kind of like, I'm always like, oh, so what's up with that? Like, can we talk about that for a second and just try to like learn? Because what if it's something I'm not aware of about myself?
Sure.
And I should take that into consideration. It doesn't mean I have to change, but I should at least like consider it if it like sparks something. If something turns on to me in a positive or negative way, I should at least like be curious enough to go, well, why is that impacting me, and think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think enough people don't do that. And so then you have poor behavior that impacts other people, So it's back to be curious. So maybe what makes a person a bad person is when they're not curious.
Okay. I get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, and when you talk about how the self-awareness, right? Like, but if you, I almost think it's like the opposite of like, if you do have the self-awareness and you still do things to hurt people.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah. That's like evil.
That's evil.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that probably do that.
Yeah. Well, these days people are, especially, I don't know, with like, and I don't know about like you, but like I freaking hate the drivers in Austin. Like there's zero self-awareness on like the road.
I don't think it's just Austin. I think it's probably everywhere. And I think this is just my opinion. Something about the pandemic and not driving for a while had an impact when we came back to driving full force. And I just don't know if we've quite caught up yet. It might take a little bit longer or something. I don't know, because it only felt like I'll tell you this. Before the pandemic, I never have seen a drag race on the actual streets that I was driving. And since the pandemic, I've seen like 3. Like people like legit drag racing or like road raging.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, holy crap. Like I've never seen that before. Now, if you grew up in other places, maybe there's a lot of drag racing, but there's not a lot of drag racing in Austin.
Yeah.
At least not where I live. So the fact that it's happening around my house is just like wild. And straight up road rage. I know I've seen straight up road rage. And I feel like I just didn't see that at the level that I do before.
Yeah. We see a lot of things before. Now, like pre-pandemic, you didn't see. I think too, like there's also like the whole thing with like social media and just like everyone having a cell phone now and whatever, which probably leads to a lot of it also.
Well, okay, so over the whole pandemic, we've been talking about how much our kids lost, like in being out of school and just being on Zoom and just being on devices and things like that.
Yeah.
But guess what? It was us too. Like, you were, not you, but people were working from home. They were on Zoom all the time. They were probably more apt to be on their devices because they couldn't go outside. Yep. What about what it did to our brains? It might have messed us up too a little bit, because they're talking about these kids not being able to learn or get to where they need to be because they're a little bit behind. Well, maybe as adults, we're a little bit behind too, and we don't realize it.
Yeah.
But I also spent a lot of the pandemic like reading books and walking outside and doing other stuff. So I didn't feel as much of an impact, I feel, as like maybe other people did.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what you got? What's the last one?
What is missing from your life?
Oh man. The only thing that is missing from my life is all the it sounds so hippity dippity. The only thing that's missing from my life is all the things I'm manifesting right now. All the goals and dreams that I have pointed my ship in the direction. That's all that's missing. But I feel like it's just like a matter of time,
Uh-huh.
right? Like that I start hitting these markers of these things that I want. And they're not even like things like to be rich and famous and things like that. It's more like, can I get my business to a place where I can move farther out of town and have our own land and maybe do a lot of it online, or have a retreat out there? You know, like I have all these ideas about how I want to impact not only my family but the future of the people that I come in contact with, right?
Uh-huh.
So like I have all these ideas and things in a direction that I'm pointing my ship. And unless something else tells me to go to a different direction, like this is the direction I'm going. So the only thing it's missing are the things that I'm going towards. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm hitting a lot of the stuff on the way, which is cool.
Cool. So you have all the whatever's missing, you have your eye on the ball now and you're working towards
Well,
there.
it's kind of like, I don't know. Okay, so you're a new dad.
Yep.
Do you feel like you didn't? Okay, now in having a child, do you feel like something maybe was missing? Like, do you feel more completed as a dad, as a human being, or just me?
I think I will feel more complete.
It's gonna take a little more time. It got to cook a little longer, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I just feel like I'm not
Not-
sleeping very much.
Fair.
And not having some of
My child was the thing I didn't know I needed to become a better person in this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what I was missing, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And like she impacts this. She impacts me doing the podcast because like she'll listen and watch sometimes. It's crazy. And like, you know what I mean? And so like I want to be the most authentic person I can be. And if something were to happen to me, she would have all these videos and all these things, and she would see who her dad was, and she would know that was me because that's who I was with her as well. But I wouldn't have, I don't think I'd have the level of authenticity that I have maybe if it wasn't for her, because kids will make you real honest. I feel like honest about like how selfish you are. You know what I mean? Like the kid starts crying, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to get up again. Got to get up again.
Or like I have to, I'm working on the whole shift in mindset now. I'm like, you know, I say like, oh, now I have to deal with him. And I'm like,
you get to.
Yeah. Like, and even though still like that, like, and that's what comes out of my mouth. It's not what I mean. Right. But like, just having to worry about myself for so long.
Yeah.
That like, I need that like kick in the nuts and like, just starting to kind of like reframe of like, no, I get to do this. He needs me.
I mean, oh man, every time, you know, like we were talking about on the podcast, like man, I think we're talking about like kids screaming and just wanting them to shut up, like stuff like that. And when my daughter does a lot of that stuff, to your credit, you know, talking about the pause, like, you know, like I try to remember that one day I'm gonna only wish she was small enough and little enough to be yelling and screaming like this, or to be this person she is now. One day she's going to be 18, and I'm going to be wanting these days. Yeah. So have a little bit more patience with her in this moment, and just like, you know, just like try to be more calm, even though it's driving me insane. Yeah. Like right now she's really big into DJing in the car. So I just give her, she has her own playlist, and I give her the phone and she DJs her song. And let me tell you, I've heard some of these songs so many times, but it makes her so happy, and she loves music so much, and she loves singing so much. Yeah. There's going to be a day where I'm going to be like, I wish she was in the truck singing with me. You know, I wish that we were here doing this. And so I try to lean into it more in those moments, even though it can be like, oh, yeah, this is tough. Oh, my man. Hey,
cool.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, awesome. Man. Thank you.